right, so you are going to be using your pink ratio notes booklet today, and you're going to flip open to the last tab that is in this book titled Percent of a Number. So we're going to fill out the notes here, and then we're going to do a couple practice problems down here and then over to this side. And then when you are in class on your in-person day, we will be adding on to these on the back side of this sheet, but for now, you're going to be doing this. Okay, so percent of a number. We know that the percent or the word percent means out of 100, right? So we need to think of the number 100 when we're working with percent. So our first bullet says percent is the blank of a number compared to blank. In the first blank there, I want you to write in the word ratio because you are comparing two things, and that's what a ratio is you compare two quantities. However, with percent, a number is always being compared to another, and that another number is always 100. So a number is always being compared to 100 when working with percent. Remember, percent per means of or of how many or per how many, and then cent means 100. So out of 100 is what the word means. The percent symbol is this. When we are working with finding percent of a number, a lot of the times, and even in the real world today, majority of the time that you're going to be using this is when you are tipping a waiter or a waitress at a restaurant, or when you're shopping and you're trying to find how much something is off, if it's on sale, if it's 50% off of a price, or any other type of sale that happens. So shopping and eating out at a restaurant, you're going to really need to know this skill and have this skill mastered. So when you're finding the percent of a number, I'm going to show you two ways. The first way is going to be with a double number line, okay? I'm going to have you set up a double number line over here, but I want you to, up on top first, to write of equals multiply. In math, every time you see the word of, you are going to be multiplying. So of equals multiply for this case here, okay? So percent of a number. All right, so set up your double number line. And when we are working with percent of a number, percent and number, those are the two labels that I will always have. So I have the hashtag symbol here. It also means number, and that's what I wrote there. You could also write out the word number if you wish. We are going to use the first problem, 28% of 70. So if this is your problem that you're given, 28% of 70. How you're going to set up this double number line is percent, this number, whatever's associated with the percent symbol, obviously has to go here. So that is going to go on the bottom, okay? The other number that we're working with on the percent side is 100, because remember, these numbers, or percent is always a number compared to 100. So we have that filled out there. But we are saying 28% of 70. 70 is going to be across from our 100. Because that is our total. This is the maximum amount that we're working with. And we're trying to find what 28% of 70 is. So that means our 28% is going to be a number smaller than 70. Okay? All right, so now here's where this gets a little easy/tricky, depending on how you use it. You're going to find your missing piece, because eventually you're going to be going down here. So you're going to find your missing piece from here to here. Now, how do I go from 100 to 28? This really isn't the easiest multiplication, okay? Because 28 doesn't go into 100 easily. So what I would do is grab your calculator and figure out what 100 divided by 28 is. So when I type in find missing piece, especially since this isn't an easy multiplication fact, I'm going to type in 100 divided by 28 in the calculator, and my answer in the calculator gives me my missing piece. Okay, so when I type in 100 divided by 28, I get a really weird number. I get divided by, I'm going to stop at 3.57, okay, because this number kind of takes over my whole screen. So I'm going to stop it at 3.57. That's my missing piece. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So divide by 3.57, 70 divided by 3.57 in my calculator gives me another weird number also, okay? However, I'm going to stop it just like we have been at 2 digits after. So I have 19.61 is my answer. Okay, so now 28% of 70 is 19.61. Let's say a shirt was on sale, or a shirt at a store is $70, or a pair of shoes, or a video game at a store is $70. And there's a sign up above that item that you're buying or interested in that says this item is 28% off, okay? Or it's on sale for 28% off. Okay, 28% of 70 would be $19.61. Then you would subtract 19.61 from 70, and that would be your new price. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult of a way to do it, and I promise you it's going to get a little easier as we go through. Okay, I started this way because you're used to double number lines. You're used to setting them up. You know how to do it. Okay, here's an easier way. We're going to go back over here. Finding the percent of a number. Percent of a number. Of means multiply, and you see the word multiply here. You're going to change whatever number is associated with the percent to a decimal. Now remember, when we go from percent to decimal, we move our decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay. Then we're going to multiply the decimal by the original number or the total, which in this problem up here would be 70. Okay, so now, when we are finding the percent of a number, the quicker, easier way with a calculator would be change the percent to a decimal and multiply by the original number. So here, we would change 28% to a decimal, which means equals 0.28. We moved our decimal point 2 places to the left, okay, or you divide by 100, and then you multiply by the original number, so or your total would be 70. Okay, so now if I were to type that into my calculator and do 70 or 0.28 times 70, I get 19.6, which is exactly the same answer as that. Okay, let's look at the example problem down here. What is 15% of 40? We're going to change this percent to a decimal, multiply by 40. We're going to do that way first, and then I'm going to show you how you would solve it on a double number line, just as a second form of showing your work, figuring out the answer in case the calculator way, changing this to a decimal, multiplying by the other number, is not your way of doing it. For some problems, this may not be the easiest way. However, majority, 99.9% of them, will be the easiest way. All right, so we change this to a decimal. You divide by 100, so you move it 2 places to the left. You end up getting 0.15 times 40. 0.15, typing it in my calculator, times 40 gives me 6. So 15% of 40 is 6. Now that we know the answer, let's solve it on a double number line. Okay, so we have percent and number. Okay, I have 15% here, and I have 100 here. My 40 is my 100% because that's the maximum of what I'm working with right now. My answer is going to be less than 40, okay, because I'm trying to find a number smaller than 40. So 40 is equal to 100% in this case, and my question mark goes there. Find your missing piece. I know I have to go down on this side, so I'm going to go down on this side. 100 divided by 15, my missing piece is 6.67, or 6.66 repeating. We'll divide by that. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. 40 divided by 6.6 is 6. Okay. This way is going to be your easier way, faster way, and that is fine. If you are choosing to solve it this way, this is how you would show your work. Okay, each problem, you would change your percent to a decimal, multiply by the other number, and have your answer there. Double number lines, if this way is easier for you, you can do that as well, and this would be how you would show your work. All right, so now you are going to take out the page in your new packet that says January 11th up at the top. And we're going to do some practice problems here. This is going to be your homework for tonight. You have a double number line set up here in case you wish to have that as your form of showing your work. If you don't, just show your work over here on the side of each double number line. So 10% of 120. Let's set up our double number line for those of you that are choosing that. Percent a number. I have 10, 100, and 120, and my question mark here. This one is easy. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. 120 divided by 10. My answer is 12. Okay. Now, if I'm just using the change to a decimal and multiply method, I would do divide by 100 or move my decimal point 2 places to the left. 0.10 times 120. Type that in my calculator. And I get 12 as my answer. Okay? This is probably going to be everybody's choice of how they're showing their work, and that is totally fine. That is how I show my work also. I just thought I'd show you with the double number line because you're used to them and you're experts at them. So if you needed that visual for showing your work, you can. Otherwise, you can skip over. You don't even have to fill out any part of these double number lines on the sheet. You are finding the percent of each of the numbers that are listed here. Just be careful. You have a money amount here. Okay? And then down here you have 2 more that are over 100. All right? This is going to be doing your next in-person day. Just make sure you're showing your work in some way and circle your answer. This one's going to need a label because it's working with money. Other than that, they're all just plain numbers as your answers. Let me know if you have any questions.